This is the signed number review. This is part 5. We have one more problem for division, and then we'll start talking about order of operations in more detail. One last division problem, negative 580 divided by a negative 5. Negative divided by negative is going to be a positive. And then you can use your calculator if you want to. 580 divided by 5 gives me 116. And that would be that answer. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about it, order of operations, but more detail now. There is a specific order we have to do our arithmetic in, or we will get false answers. You probably have learned this. You may have read it as PEMDAS. You may have learned, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's the way I learned it. But it does tell you how we have to go through these. The first step is parentheses first. We've mentioned that already, but it can be any kind of grouping symbol. So sometimes you will have parentheses, and then if you have a lot of parentheses, they might use brackets on the outside of them to help you pair them up. It's still a grouping symbol. Another thing that counts as a grouping symbol is a fraction bar. It groups the top with the bottom. So when we're going to do things that have a giant fraction look to them, we'll have to simplify the entire top, then the entire bottom, and then do a division. So grouping symbols first, we have to simplify inside those first. Then we have to take care of exponents. Or when we get to chapter 8, this is just for future reference. We don't have to worry about that right now. Exponents are the next thing we have to deal with. And then here's where things get a little bit dicey for people. The next thing we have to deal with is multiplication and division. And we have to work those from left to right, no matter what order they go in. So you don't go do all the multiplications and then go back and do all the divisions. If the division is written before multiplication, you divide first. The same type of thing happens with the addition and subtraction. So let's look at some problems. 36 divided by negative 4 divided by 3. With the addition problems and subtraction problems earlier, we were able to kind of group them and do them however we wanted to. That just doesn't work with multiplication and division. I can't do these first and then do the division. It just won't work. So I have to work these from left to right, which means I need to do this one first. 36 divided by a negative 4. They have opposite signs. My answer is going to be negative. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I have negative 9. Now I need to divide that by 3. These have opposite signs, so my answer is going to be negative. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So your answer is negative 3. Okay, so let's look at this one. I have negative 80 divided by 4 times negative 5. One of the things that messes some people up is that people see the parentheses and so they think, okay, well, I have to do that multiplication first. But that's not what the parentheses step is telling us to do. The parentheses step tells us to simplify inside the parentheses. I look inside these parentheses and I have a negative 5. I can't simplify negative 5. So that first step is done. It's simplified inside of it. I don't have any exponents in here. I do have a multiplication and I have a division, and I have to work these from left to right. So I have to do this division first, even though it looks like we should do that part first. Negative 80 divided by 4. These have opposite signs, so my answer is going to be negative. Negative 80 divided by 4 would be 20. So this is negative 20 times negative 5. Okay, now I have to do the multiplication. Negative 20 times negative 5 gives me a positive, because they have the same sign, 100. Okay, Now, just as a warning, if I had done it the other way, just to show you that it makes a big difference, if I had messed up and I had done this multiplication first, 4 times -5 would be -20, so this would be -80 divided by -20. That gives me a +4, which is definitely not 100. So that's the mistake you want to avoid.